Recently, we've all been forced to grapple with the increased role that artificial intelligence is playing in popular music. Much to my own surprise, I've been basically pretty optimistic about the whole thing. From how gnarly AI-generated black metal is reviving the cold, inhumane spirit of old school black metal, can something that is fundamentally inhumane have a spirit? I guess that's a question for my youth pastor. To AI tools that are helping artists make rap and hip-hop tracks in ways which are both funny and genuinely inventive. These are all cool things that I have a hard time hating. But I'm not some babe in the woods. I'm not some digital yokel pitched off the last turnip truck rolling into the World Wide Web. I am extremely online. So I'm aware of what most creative people think about AI generally. That it's a scam, that it's creatively bankrupt, and that it's going to one day take all of our jobs. I mean, it will never take my job. Unless... oh, God! So let's look at AI's potential impact on a creative industry that is historically defined by its optimism, its cheeriness, and love of all things cute and cuddly. Anime, and specifically kawaii, and even more specifically, Vocaloid. I should also note that by a huge margin, this is the most requested subject for This Exists episode, so we'll also get to check that off. So win-win. If you're not into anime, then the whole culture around anime can seem impenetrably baffling. This is even a cliche of anime and anime culture. Saying that something is like tuning into the 200th episode of anime means it's confusing and that you basically have no idea what's going on. When it comes to Vocaloid, this confusion extends past labyrinthian plots and into the larger culture of tech and software around these singing personas. For example, take the word Vocaloid. It can refer to any one of the following things. First, Vocaloid can refer to the singing synthesizer software, developed by researcher Kenmochi Hidaiki, funded by the Yamaha Corporation and unveiled around 2004.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do.
Second, Vocaloid can refer to anime avatar singers whose songs are produced with Vocaloid. They are animated digital creations with their own distinct personalities. Popular Vocaloid, or Vocaloids plural, include Gumi, Hanuru Sora, and Big Al, a Vocaloid who is unique in that he sings in English, not Japanese.
I feel good. I knew that I would, Mel.
Vocaloid can also refer to the culture of Vocaloid fandom. So Vocaloid is the fandom around Vocaloid who are created with Vocaloid. Got it? I think I do? Anyway, sometimes when I'm even reading about Vocaloid or Vocaloids, it's hard to even know if I'm reading about fictional characters or versions of software. That's because they're one and the same. Let's take our friend Big Al as an example. Released in 2009, Big Al is both the name of the character and the proprietary software used to create Big Al music in the traditional Big Al style.
I got you.
Probably the most popular Vocaloid is Hatsune Miku. She has her own massive fandom. Tickets to see her cost hundreds of US dollars. Not exactly Taylor Swift bucks, but not bad for a performer who does not, strictly speaking, exist.
And this was the US debut for the animated character Miku.
Are we getting this?
I completely get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
All right. You're a big anime fan. I take it.
She had a weird collaboration with Domino's Pizza, the announcement of which feels a bit like a Tim and Eric sketch. She would dance on a pizza box, basically. She was even on Letterman.
Thank you. Okay. There she is. All right, that's fun.
Let's focus on the software for a second. Here's how Vocaloid, the program, works.
Hi, I'm Jamie Page, also known as Jamie P. I am a singer, songwriter, producer, musician, and vocal synth user. I have been using Vocaloids and vocal synths for something like a decade now. I worked with Moe Shop on Love Taste. I have done collaborations with Krypton, the people who make Hatsune Miku. I worked on the song Butcher Vanity by Flavor Foley, which I am a member of. I did a song for Shrimp Miku. So Vocaloid as a software, it's Similar to pretty much any synthesizer or instrument, it is a tool. One of the biggest misconceptions about Vocaloid is that it's sort of like a Dolly ChatGPT type thing where you just input something and it just like writes vocals for you. It is essentially just a piano with a human voice. You have to write the notes and the lyrics, but other than that, it takes notes and lyrics, your input, and creates a voice out of it.
Like pretty much anything related to anime or J-pop or Cult of Cute Kawaii, these Vocaloid performers are beloved by dedicated fans within the Vocaloid subculture.
I mean, originally the software didn't have mascots or anything. They were just like, here's a voice. The box art for the very first Vocaloids, it's just like a close-up of somebody's lips. The character started as a marketing gimmick. I think it was a very smart move on their part to start including characters, because now I think it's blossomed into this whole thing of like you're contributing to a canon that like this character embodies. Someone like Hatsune Miku doesn't really have any canon information about her. The most that you get is that she's maybe 16 years old and that she has blue hair, twin tails, and an outfit with a tie. But through fan interpretation, through the songs that people write using her voice, a character is sort of formed from that. Like a character with depth is formed from that. Through this weird contradictory space of there being this official thing, but all of the actual canon of that is basically like fan contribution or from like creatives other than the original company contributing to it. It creates this really strong sense of like collaboration. There's a really big emphasis on creativity in the Vocaloid community. Most people I know who are in it, they are either musicians, artists, cover artists, or in some way they just contribute to that understanding of what a character is, who they are. I think it's very unique amongst like fandom spaces, you know?
So we have obsessive fans who are hyper invested emotionally in the lives of the singers who are really just fictional characters, and even more really just pieces of software. It may seem kind of odd on the outside, but it's actually consistent with a longer tradition in Japanese pop culture: idols. Basically, idols are pop stars developed and marketed on the basis of their cuteness and attractiveness, pitched as celebrities and role models, and painstakingly marketed to audiences who have deep parasocial relationships with them. There are all types of idols, like controversial junior idols who are modeled like children, alternative idols who are not your typical idols, and even virtual idols, which are pretty close to the whole Vocaloid thing. Also, there are anti-idols, which are idols that are opposed to idols, which we did a whole very good episode about way back in the day. So Vocaloid grew out of idol and virtual idol culture. And like computer-generated black metal feeling consistent with the ethos of black metal, Vocaloid likewise seems like a natural evolution of idol culture. After all, idols are basically predicated on the idea of being curated, commercialized, and inauthentic. Authenticity, which is like the vexing quality of music, or at least music journalism in the Western world, just doesn't matter as much in Japan. Like, you know when you were a kid and you'd be rocking a Korn shirt and telling kids at recess, the Backstreet Boys are made in a lab, they don't even write their own songs? Idol fans would hear those criticisms and be like, yeah, we know, we love it. They're products and people love to purchase those products and all the products associated with those products.
My name is Minemi. I'm a Vocaloid YouTuber. I've been making these videos for, I'd say, 8 years now. Well, like currently the Vocaloid fandom is very split, I think, because like there are the new fans who are mostly on TikTok and they play this game called Project Sekai. I don't really follow that. Mostly people are in that part of the fandom currently. Then there's another section of the fandom and it's like fans of the older Vocaloid songs, like just Vocaloid characters. I think that's like who my targeted audience is. And then there's the fans who just listen to the music, like Vocaloid songs, they can get like over 10, 20 million views on YouTube. So I got invited to Germany to some convention. And the guy who invited me, he said that he went to Japan multiple times to like see Miku in concert. He came to pick me up at the airport and he like showed me his Vocaloid shoes, Vocaloid bag, Vocaloid hat, Vocaloid everything. And I was kind of like, damn, I've never seen that before. Damn, people really have a lot of money. Damn.
So you don't have Vocaloid shoes, is what you're saying?
Nah. unfortunately.
From a creative point of view, the evolution of idols into Vocaloids makes total sense. After all, the idol-styled pop stars are really just avatars of certain fashions, styles, or values. So why not just do away with the human element altogether? That's basically the dream of Databots and the AI-generated black metal that they create. Technology allows these genres and cultures to get to an even purer, more fundamental form. Want a pop star who is just a projection of what their corporate owners want to sell to their audiences? Here is a literal projection.
Hatsune Miku.
I'm CJ Carr, Zach Zukowski, we're Databots, we're an AI death metal band. Our very first article that we published on this was generating black metal and math rock beyond Bach, Beethoven, and Beatles. And so what we saw was that most people were trying to make classical music or pop. And if you were in academia, you were trying to regenerate Bach. They did it, and it was not very interesting to us. And people trying to generate pop, like a lot of people were like, can we get on Billboard 100 with an AI song? And that's also like very not interesting to us. What's more interesting is pushing music beyond anywhere that it has already been. This is a great quote by Mike Patton in his famous Sandwich interview, where he's like, computers are the best thing that can happen to music because computers are more fucked up than humans, and the more fucked up and further away music gets from music, the healthier it is for music. And it just seemed obvious that, you know, using machine learning could enhance that. And so these days, like what are we seeing? We're seeing a variety of different things, and there's a mixture. There are other people trying to make pop.
Vader shows up in a black Cadillac, windows down.
And I think the most interesting within that realm is like the deepfakes, and the deepfakes that really try to sound like really like convincing forgeries. We think like forgeries is a valid art form in of itself. Like Ditto is a valid Pokemon. Mega Man and Kirby, they're valid game characters.
Are there actual musicians on stage performing the music? Sure, for now, but I can't help but think that it'll only be a matter of time before that too is computerized or virtualized or whatever the term is. Like, what if you could have a pop star without actually having to feed or clothe them or pay them a salary or royalties? What if they were never sick or tired? What if they were never anything at all? Boom! Hatsune Miku, dancing on your pizza box, vaguely annoying and aging near-retirement David Letterman. Perfect. So I think I get it. Vocaloids are the future of music. Hooray! But where exactly does AI fit in? As it stands, people still have to program the software with songs to be sung by their respective digital animated characters. Surely you can't get rid of that. Or can you? Enter Vocaloid 6, the latest version of the software. It comes equipped with Vocaloid AI. I had to double check that AI is the actual name of the software and not the name of a character, and it's not. At least I'm pretty sure it's not. This latest version uses AI, it says, to create even more expressive singing voices. Here's an example.
Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
Wow, yes, very expressive. But it goes even further than that. With Vocaloid AI, the software's owner, the Yamaha Corporation, is now reviving long-deceased Japanese pop stars. Take Misora Hibari, a Japanese singer and cultural icon who sold like 70 million records in her lifetime. She died in 1989. Using deep learning, Vocaloid AI studied Hibari's catalog of songs, her voice, pitch, timbre, all that stuff. The result is this, a 3D or 4D projection of Hibari. And this is different from like the Tupac hologram. This hologram can be programmed to sing original songs, or even potentially songs which are also generated with AI. Now even death is no impediment to the cultural supremacy of the idols. Their ghosts can reign forever, trapped in some kind of machine. Now, some living artists have already embraced this technology. There are ABBA hologram tours, and Gene Simmons from Kiss has recently said that he wants the band to continue eternally in hologram form. Sounds like being in hell. But surely there's a difference, not just in degree, but kind, between living artists rubber stamping holograms of themselves and the deceased ones paraded around in an ethereal 4D form singing original songs written by software. Isn't it at least weird, if not bad, that the Yamaha Corporation, or any corporation, can own a dead singer's likeness and leverage it indefinitely to profit off their music and legacy? Or that the Vocaloid AI technology can essentially cut human beings out of the process of making pop music. What about the people who yearn to make pop music? I suppose they can also be retrained as programmers or janitorial assistants tasked with squeegeeing the delicate lenses on the holograms. From the perspective of such a corporation, this is obviously a tantalizing prospect. Think of the efficiencies. But from the other side, not so hot. And this, I think, is the big problem we're seeing with AI everywhere. It's not just that it's some cheat code. It's that it's a technology owned by corporations, which will invariably seek to use it to pad out their profits and bolster their own bottom line. We saw this in Hollywood with the writers and actors strikes. One of the big issues was that studios wanted to use AI to replace extras and sometimes whole-ass principal performers. That they wanted to own their likeness and do whatever they want with it. You can spend all day arguing about the creative benefits and drawbacks of AI, but I think this is the real issue. And it's a labor issue more than an artistic one.
The other differentiating factor with vocal synth software that uses machine learning is that the datasets that they're trained on are all sourced ethically is the word that people use. I don't that feels a little overly dramatic to me, but it's like they pay voice actors and singers to come into the studio and record bespoke recordings. They get paid royalties for the usage of their voice. It's all sourced directly from vocalists who are credited and paid for their work versus, something that just scrapes images off the internet or something like that. And they're much smaller data sets too that don't require the kind of immense compute power that raises like environmental concerns. I feel like that also shows that it's not the technology itself. It's companies and its implementations of machine learning, the way it gets treated and marketed, that matters a lot more. That really matters.
Totally. I mean, the villain's just always capitalism. I think that's
the villain is capitalism. I'm trying so hard to temper, I want to, it's a labor and class issue. It's not a technological issue.
We've seen this before. A new, exciting technology emerges that promises to open up new expanses of creative possibility, like CGI. But instead of every movie transporting you into a soul-nourishing vision of fantastical genius, like Avatar 2: The Way of Water, the technology is almost exclusively used to cut corners, tighten budgets, and produce the most efficient pieces of doo-doo dog shit possible. Like, I don't know, The Flash. It's like how hip-hop in the 80s was a wild west of uncleared samples and wildly inventive tracks. Then labels and rights holders realized that they can profit from those samples by charging for their clearances, and suddenly the ceiling is lowered considerably. These new tools or approaches are always introduced as a means of liberating or democratizing creativity. And then, invariably, they end up controlled and licensed back to us by the same 2 or 3 labels or corporations. Maybe it is the punk in me, but that sucks.
People who are new to Vocaloid nowadays, they assume that Vocaloid is AI. And I've seen a lot of covers, like people, instead of using the software Vocaloid, they just use AI of the characters instead. And I don't know, Vocaloid is a pretty pricey software, but now people have the freedom to make an AI voice of them for free. And that could kind of mess up the business of Vocaloid, I guess. There's this other software as well. It's called Utao. It's a free version of Vocaloid, and you can make a voice bank of anything in the world. For example, I made a voice bank of SpongeBob singing. And that is a lot of work, unfortunately. That is a lot of work, but now with AI, you can do it pretty easily. So yeah, that is also kind of dead. That part of the internet is dying.
I don't really know what the fix is here. Though those recent Hollywood strikes showed how powerful unions and organized labor can be in pushing back against this stuff. Technology is obviously insanely cool, and maybe it's natural to want to embrace it as it develops faster than we can understand it. But it's sort of like riding a tiger. If we don't take a step back, assess, and just chill, well, maybe one day our own whole asses will be owned by the Yamaha Corporation or some other mega conglomerate. In this, and basically all things, I advocate for adopting a David Letterman-ish posture of caustic, cynical, general wariness.
Okay, there she is.